Since Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee is getting remastered here in November, with some pretty steep competition, I won't lie, I thought now would be a great time to do a little retrospective on all the Godzilla games. Well, maybe not all of them. I didn't know what an MSX was before starting this video, and sorry to all the Mr. Godzilla fans out there, but I can't play that, nor do I really want to. But yeah, let's just get right into it. First off, we have Godzilla Monster of Monsters on the NES. I know this game kind of has a mixed bag of a reputation here, so I'm very interested to see if it lives up to any of the hype or any of the hate. Not starting off very strong with the slowest text scroll maybe in the history of ever. You could probably make a sandwich, walk the dog, and watch all the Toy Story movies in chronological order before you read all this text. Pretty much to sum it up, aliens are here again. Who would have thought? Big shock, aliens, and a Godzilla plot. And I really wasn't thinking I was gonna play galactic chess in a game about Godzilla, but what this pretty much is a glorified level select screen here. And as you can see, we have Ghazor and Moguera as the first monsters we face, which is very interesting considering the fact that neither of them had made an appearance in a Godzilla movie when this game was made. But, you know, whatever. You know, niche ball reference. For the actual gameplay here, it's pretty much just punching and kicking as Godzilla in space. That's pretty much it. You pretty much just power through these hits from these tanks and these planes and just try to make it to the end of the level. Your ultimate goal is fighting the two monsters at the end, which I don't understand why all these games have Godzilla throwing so many punches. Like, dinosaurs aren't known for having crazy hands. Eventually, you actually make your way to the monsters that you fight. And I won't lie, at first I was having quite a bit of trouble with these. Like, I don't necessarily understand what's going on in this image here. Godzilla is headbanging right now. But eventually you figure it out. You do this little tail whip thing and it's pretty much just, you know, GG. I'm not lying, this is just Moguera kryptonite right now. He cannot compute. But that's pretty much it on the gameplay side of this game, except for the fact that you can play as Mothra as well. Which, I'm not gonna lie, it almost seems like this game was designed with Mothra in mind, because a lot of the airborne enemies as Godzilla are very hard to hit. But pretty much all Mothra has is the fact that she can shed her wings and shoot these red tomato spitballs at people. And I would be remiss if I don't mention the elephant in the room about this game. There is a very popular creepypasta about this game. I don't think it's very compelling. Some of the monster designs are kind of cool, but other than that, it's pretty much like cookie cutter 2010s haunted game, spooky creepypasta. Yeah, it exists. There you go, if that's what you're waiting for here. Overall, I don't think this game is nearly as bad as some people say it is. For a Godzilla game on the NES, you can get a lot worse, and trust me, there is a lot worse on this list. So yeah, this gets 4 out of 5 Godzukis. On to the next one. This is Godzilla for the Game Boy. Don't let the title screen fool you. This is a sheep in wolf's clothing. This is going to be a quick one. You start the game and you're greeted by this. Just pure testosterone. I'm not gonna lie, the game is pretty cute, but that being said, it's not fun to play. As far as I know, the only attack that Godzilla can do is this little punching glove throw-up move he has. And you have to climb these vines and push these boulders down, and I really couldn't figure out what the goal of this game was. I'm gonna cut this game a little bit of slack considering the fact that it's on the original Game Boy, which is like known to be a toaster strudel of a console. But I mean, it just doesn't hold up today. And I kind of just got stuck at this point with, I'm assuming is supposed to be the smog monster, where I just couldn't figure out what to do here. And that's pretty much all the time I'm going to give this game. It's going to get a big fat 1.5 Godzukis out of 5. Okay, so I'm going to preface this with the fact that this is an NES game, and it is the sequel to the first Godzilla game we looked at. So why, please tell me why, is this game a strategy game where you play as the military? It's like, I could imagine the pitch for this game. It's like, do you know the most boring parts of all the Godzilla movies that everybody skips? Let's make that into a game that's sure to be fun and sure to sell well and go over well. I mean, I'm already not a huge fan of this type of game. I mean, I understand if you are, but this is just not my cup of tea. So needless to say, I don't like this, dude. You pretty much just position your planes and your tanks to try to play defense against Godzilla and Anguirus. That's literally it. I mean, there are more like interactive parts of the game, but I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even get that far in the game. I wanted to stop playing. I didn't want to get that far. This is just no thank you. This is 1 out of 5 Godzukis. I'm definitely biased, but I do not care. 1 out of 5 Godzukis. Sorry, not sorry. I'm trying not to review a lot of the Japanese Godzilla games, but this one was really easy to get my hands on, so making an exception for this puppy. This is another Godzilla game on the original Game Boy, and when compared to the other one that looked like Looney Tunes Kids, this one looks a whole lot better. You're just pretty much Godzilla throwing punches and kicks in the water, using your atomic breath on battleships and airplanes. There is parts of the game where you actually get on land, but my footage corrupted for that, so this is the best you're gonna get right here. But I do gotta give this game some props. Godzilla is seen in the water all the time. You don't get to see that very often in the games. And there are moments where you interact with other monsters. Right here is Ebera, and he matches the landscape that you're in. Overall, I gotta give this game a big fat thumbs up for the original Game Boy. It's nothing to write home about, but it's getting 3 out of 5 Godzukis. Here we got Super Godzilla, which is the first SNES game we're going to be looking at here. Title screen is very cool, really captures Godzilla meaty thighs. Very movie accurate there. This one is another example of the whole sheep in wolf's clothing thing. Once you inevitably skip all this dialogue, you actually get to the gameplay here, and it's nothing spectacular. You actually play as Godzilla this time, which is apparently something that's, not always guaranteed. But it's more like you're playing a perspective of him. When the screen goes black, that's me switching sides of where I'm walking. And you're supposed to eventually make your way to a monster. But running into buildings brings your energy down and you have to fill up your energy. I feel like this whole part is, I get the whole point where they want to convey him destroying the city, but I don't know, man. It just feels so clunky, dude. Let's focus on the positives here. This game looks very nice, looks very great. The sprites are nice and the sound design is nice. And we're getting close to the end there. Once you eventually make your way to the other monster in the city, you can fight them. Which, you know what? I'm gonna give the game a little bit of credit. I definitely skipped the tutorial it just gave me. But that's just what dialogue in game is meant to be skipped, dude. Come on. Needless to say, I'm pretty sure I could solve a Call of Duty Zombies Easter egg on my own before I would figure out how to use this battle mechanics. This is just so, again, clunky. Best word to describe this game is just pure clunkiness. Very nice cutscenes, though. I gotta give it that. Again, gotta give it that. Yeah, I got my butt absolutely kicked in this fight, but I don't want to have to look up a tutorial on how to use my moves in this SNES game. How complicated could it be? But, I'm sure there's like a half-decent game in here, but again, it's just not my cup of tea. This is gonna get 2 out of 5 Godzukis. No, we're gonna raise that to 3 out of 5. It has potential. I'm just not the guy for it. In my opinion, this is like if Growing Pains was a game, it's this. Okay, so this is the last Japanese game that I personally am going to play here. I've heard a lot of good things about this. This is an SNES Godzilla fighting game. And just by judging by the graphics and the character selection, they have very unique monsters here. This is kind of what most Godzilla games should be in my opinion. Don't try to complicate it. Don't make it fancy. Just do what you're supposed to do. Make some Godzilla fighting game. Don't make it too crazy. I find it interesting that you get to choose your opponent here. I don't play many fighting games in which you can do that. Gotta go with Anguirus, gotta keep that rivalry going. And here's the gameplay. I don't know why it took so long to get to a traditional Godzilla fighting game, but this is it. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not too good at traditional fighters like this, like Street Fighter or Marvel vs. Capcom, but I do enjoy playing them. I don't have to be good at things to enjoy them. I did enjoy my time with this, I can't lie, it was fun. A lot of the moves were pretty intuitive to use. Godzilla has his fire breath. This is all to code. If I was a Godzilla inspector. This game is getting a solid 4.5 out of 5 Godzukis. That is a solid score on the Godzuki scale. We don't be giving those out for free. But yeah, I would recommend it if you're able to play it. Do it. Okay, so I was heavily contemplating even including this on the list. But you know what? This is a Godzilla game. It says Godzilla in the title. It's a Godzilla game. It's a Godzilla game. Just for a little context, right? This isn't confusing at all. This is a Game Boy Color game based on the show that in itself is based on the American 1998 Godzilla movie, which that movie is based on the Japanese Godzilla. So like we are so separated from Godzilla right now, but you know what? We're just gonna look at it. It's already on the screen. Look at it. And you know what? I spent so long talking about how weird the fact that this game exists is. I forgot to mention the fact that it sucks. It's not good. You're constantly walking forward as Godzilla, who just isn't very good at being Godzilla. I mean, there is no reason why I should be cowering in fear against foot soldiers. I mean, look at this is just sad. And the graphics, and now you mention it, the sound effects, which this game has zero music. I'm sorry, there's no music in the background of this. There's no music in the game. They couldn't afford the budget. I don't know why this game in particular is making me lose it, dude. Yeah, but you control Godzilla's neck this entire time. You can do these little baby tail swings and this little spitball thing that's, it's just an insult to the atomic breath. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of don't mind the 1998 Godzilla movie, but I feel like translating him into a moveset for a game, I mean, it's not gonna be fun. I'd rather just be playing as actual Godzilla. But this game, it's just not that good. It might have been good if it was on the Atari. Not a whole lot of steep competition there. You know what? There's moments where you fight other monsters in this game, but I just didn't care to get that far in the game, to be honest. I just don't care. And also, there's a sequel to this game, which I will not be playing. This game gets a solid 1.5 Godzukis out of 5. Would be a semi-decent Atari game. This is Godzilla Domination, also known as My Salvation after the last one. This is also the handheld version of Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee. I mean, it uses the same art and pretty much has very similar gameplay. Can we appreciate the sprite work here? I mean, this looks pretty great for a Game Boy Advance game. Kind of weird on the color palettes, I won't lie, but you know what? At this point, beggars can't be choosers. And look at this little splash screen we got here. This is looking very fancy. This is a game here. And look at this gameplay. I mean, this is pretty much like a simplified version of the 3D Pipeworks games. And yeah, in terms of gameplay, you have your simple atomic breath, grab, kick, tail swing. It's pretty much anything you could ever want in a Godzilla fighting game. And plus, you destroy the city while you do it. There's not really a whole bunch to say here, but that's only because this is like exactly what you would expect from a Godzilla game. And remember what I said earlier about me playing fighting games? I did kind of get my butt kicked in this game, but you know what? I had fun doing it, and that's all that matters in the end. Not a whole lot to say on this one. And you know what? I'm going to give this one another 4.5 Godzukis. Kind of saving the 5 out of 5s for the heavy hitters, but you know what? This game, it might not be out of the park, but it's definitely a home run. Don't the stages in this game kind of look like those rugs from like the kindergarten classrooms? Am I the only one that's seen that? This is Godzilla Unleashed Double Smash, which is the handheld version of Godzilla Unleashed. Who could have saw that coming? This game starts off with some very nice cutscenes, I gotta say. Looks very Newgrounds. Obviously, it goes without saying that the handheld version of Godzilla Unleashed isn't as good as the actual 3D version on the mainline consoles, but you know what? At this point, we're gonna take what we can get because this game is definitely not that bad. It's not bad at all, actually. So the main appeal of this game is that you can swap at any time between two monsters of your choice. Here I have Godzilla and Mothra. And you know what? Godzilla can fly too because he can do his little tail twirl thing. I didn't know that was You know what? I've seen crazier come out of him, so... But yeah, it's a pretty classic beat-em-up game. I really love the atomic breath in this game. It feels very powerful. And swapping between both the characters seems very seamless. I wouldn't mind doing a full playthrough of this game, to be honest. I will say that the graphics... They are giving they look like they're a DS game. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but DS games really had that unique look to them. Not saying it's bad, I'm just making an observation. But overall, this game runs very well. It's not clunky at all. Every character kind of performs how you expect them to. It's a pretty good Godzilla game. In terms of like a side-scroller Godzilla game, this is the best one I've played so far. So this one is getting a 4 out of 5 Godzukis. And that's where this part of the retrospective ends. On the next part of the retrospective, we're going to be diving into some of Godzilla's more modern gaming. That would include the Pipework trilogy, Godzilla PS4, and I feel like a lot of these have more meat on their bones. So, as opposed to a Game Boy game that takes 3 minutes to talk about, each one of these games might be 10 minutes each. I don't know, we'll see. Let me know if you agree on any of my takes here. I know some of them might be a little, room temperature at best, And let me know if I miss any of the games that you've played, because I'm not a walking Wikipedia, but thank you for watching.